thank you, Peter, for coming on the podcast. First of all, I really do appreciate it.
No problem.
So you are a big West Brom fan.
Yes.
And
yes.
And you're treasurer of the London Baggies, is that right?
I'm treasurer of the London Baggies, and I've been that for a few years now. Yes.
Can you just explain a little bit about what the London Baggies is and where your passion from West Brom originated?
Right. Well, the London Baggies is basically supporters, not just London, but the South East as a whole. We cover quite a large area. I mean, myself, I don't live in London. I actually live on the south coast. I live in Eastbourne, so probably about as far away as you can get. But a great bunch of guys. We've been going since the late 70s, early 80s. Probably got best part of 100 members now. And what I like is the social side of it. It's that rather than me travel up by myself, it's usually the case that there's always a few others that you meet up with. If I was honest, I prefer the away atmosphere to the home atmosphere as an Albion fan.
Why is that?
It's because there's fewer in number. You feel much more a tight-knit community than you do at home.
With the London Baggies, would you say a lot of the fans are like you? They grew up watching West Brom, or do you get new people who are maybe new to football and there's something they like about West Brom, or is it mainly people who've been childhood fans?
It's mainly people that have a connection with the West Midlands in the first place. There's a lot of what I was called as expats like myself, who were born and bred there, but now live in London and the South East. And there's lots of people as well. There's some that have never, ever seen us really being that successful, but come along because their parents did, or their grandparents did. So it's sort of passed on. You don't get any fans like you do the bigger sides who, I support them because I've seen them on the television every 5 minutes. You would say 99.9% have got some sort of connection with the West Midlands.
Yeah.
So it's still basically a local club rather than a national club, if you get what I mean.
I do. I think that is absolutely the case with larger clubs. You tend to lose something, but with the smaller sides, you do have more of a family atmosphere, a family feel about it.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of those things, and the camaraderie that we tend to get, that we'll all tend to travel together, or if not, we always know which pub everybody will be in. And it's the case, oh, hello, how are you? I haven't seen you for ages. And it's fabulous in that respect. And we're from all ages and all walks of life. My own passion for West Brom, I'm originally from the West Midlands. I moved down to Eastbourne back in 1984. The first game I was ever taken to was the Albion back in 70-71, which is surprising given that all of my family are Villa fans.
Yeah,
but I've shown the light to them now. It stems from the fact that my father at the time was working for Salter Springs in West Bromwich. And of course, the Albion originated from Salter Springs. That factory was all full of Albion fans. They'd meet up at their work social club on a Saturday lunchtime and then go to the match Saturday afternoon. And that's how I started to go. And my father, ever since, has seen far more Albion games than Villa.
See, Dad was a Villa fan originally,
yes,
or still is, and he would go along because his mates at work were going.
Yes, yeah, he was one of those. He was from the generation just after the war when my grandfather and father would go and see Villa play on every other Saturday, and if they're away from home, go and see another match. Which doesn't happen because of the expense of football nowadays. Doesn't happen, but you hear it. People from Manchester will go and see City one week, United the next. People in London will go and see their team one week and somebody else the next. It was just a love of football more than anything.
And you tagged
which
along.
has followed through.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But
Look,
what I've always loved about the Albion is just the atmosphere there.
yeah.
The atmosphere's always, to my mind, been great and always been fun, rather than there's never been a nasty undertone there. It's always been fun.
Would you say that is that unique in terms of teams, the supporters, that some are more friendly than others, some are more of a community or a family than others, in your experience?
Oh, definitely. You go around the country and teams that are next door to each other, you've got one lot of fans who are absolutely lovely, another lot who wouldn't give you the time of day. I know it's a generalisation, it's not true of everybody, but what I would class as the normal run-of-the-mill fans I'm talking about. Prime example, Merseyside, always found Everton fans have always been lovely. Pardon me. And Liverpool fans, not so good, but there you go.
And so you tagged along with your dad.
Argue the other way. Yeah.
You what? Sorry.
Yeah, I'm sure they would argue against me, but you take it as you see it. That's all.
And you just went with your dad and to the West Brom games, and that's how it kind of started.
Yes. And then when I got old enough, I used to go by myself, and always went to West Brom. So, just basically to see some decent football.
And just fast forwarding to the modern day, what are your thoughts? Obviously, Southampton, unfortunately, West Brom didn't make the playoffs. Didn't go through.
Yeah.
So, where do you think Carlos is going to go from here? Do you think he'll stay at West Brom?
Really hope that he stays. Whether or not he does, I don't know. It's a $64,000 question. I hope with the right backing, we've got the right manager, and I really am excited for next season. I think we can improve on next season. The three sides that have come down, I can't see any of them bouncing back. And I would say the favourite to go up next season is probably whoever's going to lose the playoff final. And I think next year in the Championship is going to be the most wide open it's been for years.
Do you feel there's a genuine optimism at West Brom since Carlos came, since Shilen became, that has him in there for a long time?
It hasn't probably been there since Roy Hodgson days. He's probably the best manager we've had since Roy Hodgson, in my opinion. And yes, we all, having sat down with people after the match on Friday, we all said, regardless, we've just had a fantastic season, way above expectation, and let's hope that it continues into next season. I just hope somebody doesn't come along and poach Carlos.
Do you think he is a major part of it? Do you think if he walks, if he leaves, then it's back to square one?
Yes. I think if he does walk, we are unfortunately back to square one, which we keep on going to and keep on picking the wrong guys. So for once, we got it right with him.
What do you think it is about Carlos Corberan that works at West Brom?
I think he's to me, you see him on the sideline. His enthusiasm on the pitch, on the sideline for one. You can see that he's the one getting up and getting angry, etc. It's almost like he's a fan. He reminds me in that respect of the way that Gary Megson used to on the sideline 20 years ago, that he would also kick every ball on there. And obviously the work ethic that he must put in on training as well seems to work, because they do seem to be able to, or some of them want to run through a brick wall for him. The only thing that's lacking is some of them haven't quite got the skill to do it. But I do think that he is the right person for the club at present.
In terms of Shilen Patel coming in to own the club, not that I've seen any big financial announcements by him in terms of investing in the club. Is that right? Have you heard differently?
I haven't heard any big investments coming in, but the only positive side, hopefully, is the case that he's also not taking large chunks of money out of the club.
Yeah.
Which was the problem that we previously had. I've got no objections to owners not putting large amounts of money in. A club, I think, should live off its own means. However, it shouldn't be a cash cow for somebody. It should definitely basically stand on its own 2 feet. If they want to put money in, absolutely fantastic. But it should not be the case that the club is providing them with a cash cow to the detriment of the club.
Yeah. I think what strikes me when you get a billionaire or a very rich person own a club, they always seem to make a big thing about their wealth, and that's always considered a good thing. And I just wonder if he will put any large sums of money into the club to help it.
You hope that he will do, but then you've got financial fair play involved. We don't want him to put loads of money in and all of a sudden we're making huge losses and then he walks away.
Do you think one of the big assets of Shilen taking over the club is the impact on fans? It seems to have really lifted their spirits.
Yes. I think Lai was universally not liked, and but he's come in and he said all the right words. I don't know if you listened to his interview he did on Radio WN, which I thought was really, really good, and his background and his thoughts. And I think that went down well with most fans that I've spoken to, and they all said how good an interview that was. And hopefully that's the start of good things and a good relationship between him and the club and the supporters.
In terms of the players at West Brom, do you think you have enough strength in depth, or is that still one of the Achilles heels of the club and its promotion prospects, is not having enough talent?
The Achilles heel currently is the talent up front.
Yeah.
Thomas Asante, you couldn't wish for a higher work ethic than him, but all for you. But he hasn't got the skill, unfortunately. DK has been so unlucky with injuries, and you really feel sorry for the guy. But we do need somebody who can put, we've always said, a 20-goal a season striker. We haven't had one of those for years.
In terms of like next season, what would you like to see change? What do you think the biggest challenges are?
Certainly at the back, we look fairly solid. But some greater potency going forward, I think, is what we really need. Sometimes in matches, we'll hold the ball, we play well at the back, but we never seem to have the outlet to go forward and put it in the net. And that's where I think we need to build on to have the attacking options.
Watching the Wolves game, it did seem there was a difference in class. You know, I know it may be hard for West Brom fans to admit that, but it did seem that the quality of the finish just wasn't on a par with what Wolves had. And
yes, I think you're absolutely right on that. I think the whole squad, had we been lucky enough to get promotion last season, that squad just was not Premier League standard, and we really would have struggled next season. So perhaps it's, with hindsight, it might be the best thing that we didn't go up last season and build a better side next season to go up accordingly.
Do you think building that squad is going to be hard unless Shilen Patel puts money into players?
Yes, so I think we need some money into players. We don't need to be they're huge amounts, but we definitely need. Well, we can't get much lower than the budget we've had in the past couple of seasons. We need some investment in the short term just to get us firing again.
So you think maybe even if we did get promoted, the odds of West Brom staying next season would probably be low with the squad that they had?
Oh, definitely. But your aim then would be, right, if you got promoted, you get relegated with a better side that won your promotion in the first place.
Yeah.
Which is what happened 20-odd years ago under Gary Megson. We yo-yoed for a number of seasons, but each time we went down, we had a better side than took us up previously, until eventually, hopefully, something works and you stay up. I mean, it's very difficult, I think, to go up. If you've been away from the Premier League for a number of seasons, it's very, very difficult, I think, to go up and not struggle. Just looking at last season, yeah, the three sides that went up have come straight back down again.
So do you think unless you get a big cash injection, then you do end up yo-yoing between the Championship and the Premiership?
Yes, yeah. And there's probably half a dozen sides that are considered as yo-yo sides now. Us, Norwich being two of them, Burnley being a third one there, Sheffield United another one, that just seem to yo-yo between them. It's just one of those things. The gap between the haves and the have-nots is just so large now. You end up with a division like the Premier League where one side is nearly winning everything. Do we want that in football? Probably not. That's why lots of fans prefer going to the Championship, because you never know what's going to happen.
It's a bit more open.
Yes, definitely. Which is great. I'd sooner see us, and each time we go to a match, you think, yeah, we could win this, rather than going there and thinking we'll be lucky to get a corner.
Peter, thank you ever so much for talking to me. I know it's been brief, but I really do appreciate it. Thank you ever so much. Have a great day.
Yeah, and you.
Take care, Peter.
Bye.
Bye-bye.